Okay, welcome to the geometry class. Every class in geometry begins with definition of points, lines, and planes. This is the foundation for all of it. And I found this kind of neat little graphic. Try to find all your points, lines, and planes. But the connection here is, of course, you'll see a lot of geometry in art, this being modern art. Older Renaissance art is very much based on geometry and principles of perspective. See what you can find out there, okay, and enjoy it. All right, so here we go. Point, okay, location represented by a dot and a name with a letter of the alphabet. Quite simple. No shape, size, dimensions, or anything. Okay, points are just a reference. When referring to a line segment, a line array, or a plane, you need to have points in order to, so people know what you're talking about, a reference. The line, the set of all points extending infinitely in opposite directions, okay? What we see here is a line AB, okay? That is not that it only contains points A and B, but it is named with A and B, okay? So you could name it BA, you could name it AB. Note that the symbol is a little line over top. Okay, the line shown is the line AB or the line BA, and of course this is how we write that in the geometry with the notation. Okay, though a line is named for 2 points, there's only one. So every time when we think about points going back into algebra, we know that they have locations, and that was part of the definition of a point, is the location. So the location is in a coordinate system with an x-axis being horizontal, the y being vertical, and any point given in terms of that x and y axes. Okay, for instance, this point H, as we see, 2, 3, over 2, up 3, so forth and so on. We know that up here, this is quadrant 1, in which x is positive, y is positive. Quadrant 2 over here, negative x, positive y. Quadrant 3, both x and y negative. Over here, quadrant 4, positive x, negative y. Points in 3 dimensions, okay, are referenced along the x, y, and z axes. Okay, on the surface of the Earth, okay, any point is given with latitude and longitude. Okay, here are some latitude and longitude positionings for some of the cities throughout the world. Okay, just something to be interested in. Okay, point that if you're into astronomy and you're trying to determine the location of a particular star or planet, then you need coordinates. Coordinates in space are given in terms of right ascension and declination. And here's a graphic, and of course you could always research that if you have a greater interest. Okay, when we talk about points on the same line, they are collinear points, as you can see here. Any point on the blue line is collinear. Okay, plane, flat surface, no thickness, infinite length, infinite width. Okay, these are some of the concepts that we can't really think about. Is a sheet of paper a plane? Well, it's probably the closest thing we can think about as a plane. Okay, some of the software that we'll use later will let you visualize these things a little bit better. So any 3 points here will be in a plane, okay, because they're non-collinear. All right, but if these 3 points were forming a line, then they would not be collinear. We talk about, does he make the goal? Does he get the 6 points for the touchdown? That is, has he crossed the plane of the goal line? Okay, here, artists and the likes will just define that there's a plane that divides the body in half. Okay, that is what we call the sagittal plane, and then there's planes that divide the body in other ways as well. Okay, just for you to get a visualization of what it is that we're talking about when we have a plane. Now, obviously, This plane does not have an edge, but you can't draw something that doesn't have an edge. But you get hopefully the idea of what we mean when we talk about planes. A very popular plane in geometry and then into algebra is the plane that is used to cut through a cone, okay? And depending upon how this plane is positioned, in this case it's parallel to the base, then you got to imagine what the cross section will be, what will be the slice of the cone made by this plane. In this case, we would say it's a circle, but imagine that this plane was at some angle relative to the base. What kind of a shape would be formed under those circumstances? So things to think about, okay? And there we have the other one was, I'm sorry for that, we lost it, was the equatorial plane, the plane of the planets in their orbit around the sun. Just some interesting things for you to think about.